Alright guys, so we got the wing pretty much sanded down. You can see all my sandpaper here. I got majority of the wing sanded down. We're utilizing 180 grit sandpaper to blend all the sheeting in. You know, for the most part of it, all the sheeting was already all edge glued properly on the glass table, so that we can do minimal sanding when this time comes. And so a real quick 180 grit over the whole entire structure to blend everything in, and then I broke it down to 320 or 220 and then 320, and this is the final results here. Now I just gotta go ahead and get the air compressor, blow everything out, and then we'll go start glassing. Alright, let's do this. Alright guys, so for the interior of the gear well, I'm basically just simulating the stiffeners inside here. I'm not really going complete detail like that, but from afar, I'm gonna make it look the part. We're not gonna do all this. We're not really gonna go decked out like that, because this is gonna be a flying model. So, and plus it's only a 60 size. So, where we can save weight, we're gonna try. So, if this was a giant scale, then maybe I, really go into detail like that. But unfortunately, I'm not doing a giant scale at the moment. So this is what we got going on, and all I did was pretty much I took our 1/16 sheeting, just scrap, and I just cut little strips, real small strips, roughly about like that, and I just measured it out and glued it in there. Cut and fit and glued and stuff. Took me no more than 10 minutes to do all that. So we're gonna get right back into the actual part that I was actually going to do first, which was we're gonna start glassing the bottom of the wing. Let's get busy. All right. So we're just gonna go ahead and lay the glass over the wing structure to see if I have enough. First of all, I believe I do, and then I'm gonna trim and cut what I need, because I'm gonna do this whole wing one shot. Okay. Alright, so I believe I have enough to basically, this would be for the top portion of the wing. So try to get as much fiberglass as I can. Try not to pull the weave and ruin the fiberglass. Try to get, I'm not that anal about everything here, but this is the bottom portion of the wing. So, and then I'll cut this right here off, and we can use this for like the aileron. So, yeah. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna chop this straight down right here. I'm just gonna cut it straight, and then once I get this freed from the main roll, then we will cut down the center of this. Let me see here. because to be honest, I can easily get small pieces of fiberglass and just cover that section so I can actually cut it here. But yeah, I'm trying to save as much as I can as far as the glass is concerned, but you know what? It is what it is. I still haven't gone to Home Depot yet to buy me a actual scissors fiberglass. That one always gets me. But yeah, I don't know how much this is. This was a 6-yard roll, so 6 yards, and I still got some. I don't know how much this is in here, but we will put this away. I have another roll over there, the tube for this excess right here, and we'll put that excess in wrapped around that tube and save it for when it's time to do the top of the wing. All right, so from here I'm going to basically cut the glass right here. We don't need everything going forward. Try to save as much as I can. We don't need so much excess on the leading edge here. But like I said in previous portions of the video, I don't like my glass to be right at the edge of the cut line, because when you start spreading, it starts fraying and loosening up all the weaves, and then it starts collecting on your spreader, and then you end up spreading those loose weaves or strands onto the glass surface, and you're gonna have to remove them. So I try not to do all that. Alright, that's completely separated. I'll take this tube and I'll roll this up. For later, when I do the top portion of the wing. Trying not to stretch the glass. Alright, just like that. We can put this to the side so we don't ruin this glass, because this is going to be the one that does the top of the wing. So I will put this somewhere where it doesn't get hurt. Alright, so now we got this. I think that's more than enough. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this right here so that we can have the glass here lay flat and all that. So I have to go around that side and move the camera. Alright. So what we're going to do here is I'm gonna just cut this right smack in the middle first, just to kind of free it, like that. Let's see. Let me go ahead and cut this way. Just free that a little bit, and then, oh man, I have to go around the other side. And we'll cut this side right here, just like that. Okay, so hopefully this can sit down in that area. Just like that. There you go. We're going to try to just get this where it's relaxing. And then we'll cut all that. Once we get to that point when we start glassing, it'll be here. So we'll try to get it all relaxed. Just like that. Now we're going to try and get the fiberglass to spread out flat. That way, when we start putting the resin on there, we're not having to undo when it's bunching up on you, because it's a pain in the rear sometimes. Okay. So on this side here, I got some weaves that have been separated slightly at the end of the roll. Unfortunately, I did not see that until just now. So we're just going to deal with it. We'll continue glassing it, and then when we put the resin, I will just leave the resin a little bit thick in that area. So we're talking about right here. We got the glass here. It's kind of separating from each other here. It's like got snagged on something, and so I'm not too worried about it at this point, because like I said, the resin will cover all that, and we'll just leave the resin a little thick there. And when we do the block sanding, everything should be okay. It should fill in. When I squeegee the resin this way, I'm not gonna go all the way and saturate this area with resin. We'll just push a little bit of the resin a little bit past the edge, so that when we cut, we will the glass is actually pretty stiff here, so we'll get a good clean cut. But we don't need to saturate the whole centerpiece, and we don't need to put so much like globs of resin around that area. So I'm not too worried about that. But here, I went ahead and I taped that off, because this is where the retracts actually sit down onto the rail. and because it's very close to the sheeting in the glass, that even if you were to pull some resin that way, it's gonna eventually penetrate the glass and then it's gonna seep right into that crevice. And if you don't take that off, you're gonna end up having to clean that out once it's dry. And to clean out resin when it's dry in tight crevices like that is a pain in the rear. So I'm not even gonna bother with that. To make your job easier, so as you can see, all the servo wells, I've taped it pretty much. So this is where the rail was at. I edge taped the whole thing, and so when we put the resin all over here and stuff, we'll try to eliminate having to go all the way in the middle, you know. But we will pass the edges and put some resin past the edge there so we can get a clean cut when everything is all set and dried. And at the same time, now that it's all taped, when I pull the tape off after it's cut, you won't have that much excess of resin deep in the edges of the rail and the sheeting, where you're gonna end up having to get Dremel and clean it all off so that your actual servo hatch can sit flush again. So tape it all up, eliminate having to do more work at the end. Okay, so all it's now we got to do is mix up some epoxy, finishing resin, and we'll start applying. All right. Same deal with the wing bolt holes. I didn't put no taper on that area and everything, but when we get close to this area, I will just do a real light, quick sweep. Not pull the all that resin and then let it sit in this area and then have it drip all down in there. So we'll just do a real light sweep of resin. Alrighty, so to not bore everybody, I will do this in time lapse. So we got the initial saturation coat on the bottom of the wing, all glassed. So we did the saturation coat, and then we applied a little pressure to remove all the excess. Okay, so we're not leaving a big buildup of resin. Okay, you can see, I don't know if you can see the weave. You can see the weave slightly. Okay, so once this side of the wing is ready to do the skim coat, because it's a little tacky right now, so we're good there. But we just finished doing this side of the wing, so this one we can't touch at all just yet. So I'm gonna mix up a batch of resin at this point. We're gonna go ahead and do the skim coat on this side, and then we'll attack this side. Alrighty. Alright guys. So right now it's curing, a little tacky, not much, but it's a good time to open these back up, because if I were to wait until it's completely cured, that's gonna be kind of hard to cut out without cutting the rail or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and basically start cutting this out. So for example, like this right here, since it's still soft, I don't have to push too hard. Just keep my blade nice and straight. Try not to cut because some of that is already cured pretty good down there. So my blade is not going all the way in there. I'm cutting that thick resin right there. The sides is not that bad, because this one is just mainly cutting the glass here. There's no resin build up there until you get right there to this corner. Okay. And I got a brand new blade here, so let's go see how much I have to cut further. See that right here. That tape is still attached. There you go. So I'm trying to do this without breaking anything. Okay. So can you imagine if I waited just a little longer? That would have been pretty hard to actually remove. work for me. Okay, so we got that cut down or cut out. I got this one cut out. We gotta clean up some of the resin that dripped down there. But other than that, for the most part, it's all right. So I did the saturation coat on this one, and then the skim coat, and now we just gotta wait for this thing to completely cure. Then we'll rip off all of the edging tape and get the nice edges of the glass cut by tearing it off, and then we'll flip it over and we will glass the top portion of the wing. But other than that, for the bottom, we are completely glass, minus of course the ailerons and the flaps. We'll take care of that. Oh, and the hatch covers, so we've got to glass those also. But once the main wing is completely glass, all the other stuff is pretty easy. So alrighty. Going to be utilizing the leftover glass from the bottom side, and we did it right. We should have enough. More than enough. All right. Put this here. Make sure we have enough glass for the front, for the rear, for the side. Just perfect. I'm just gonna go ahead and take off some of this excess here, because this is way too much excess. Use that for the ailerons when we get to that point. Just make sure we still have enough. I don't want to take out too much, because then I don't want to have when the glass like slides a little bit. Front, we don't need this much. Okay. Manageable piece of glass. Now we'll just take off this excess here. We'll call it gray glass. I will stop by Home Depot and get me a actual glass cutting shears. All right, use this for excess for like the servo covers. All right, so that's pretty much our glass for the top. It's just a matter of applying the resin. All right, let's get started. Basically sanding. So I'm using 120 grit on here or here, and what we're doing is just blocking it down. All right, so if you can see, this is how it looks after it's been blocked down. This is how it looks prior to. If you look at this right here, it's all dull. There's no ridges. It's all nice and straight, and that's what will give you that smooth finish. So once we're done sanding this with 120, we're gonna go right over this whole thing with just your hand with 320 grit sandpaper, and we're just gonna smooth it out. So real easy, doesn't take anything but thing. So far we're about 15-20 minutes into this whole wing. I just got this much left, the sand and then the control surfaces, and we're pretty much done. Basically zigzag, X pattern, or circular motion. Just like that. We got this section pretty much sanded down. Now it's just from here. So yeah, maybe another 10 minutes and we'll be good to go. Start priming.